Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great. Today I wanted to talk about isolation. Just getting into isolation, I think it is key when you feel stuck. Uh, because all the time when you feel like you are getting stuck, it means that something is not right. Like when you are around family, friends, but you still feel like I'm not entirely happy. It's like you are in a rut or things are not moving as you would want them to. You feel alone. You feel like I'm stuck. And I think that most of the time it's because of our bad habits, obviously, that also adds to feeling stuck. And we have a lot of we have busy lives. You get up, you go to work, you come back home, or you run a business. So it's like constantly busy. The life is busy. So I feel like sometimes you just need to take time and get into isolation. It doesn't mean that when I say isolation, I'm just talking about eliminating the bad habits. I know most of these things don't seem like bad habits because we used to them. We just grew up on them, and it's like, okay, it's considered normal, but everyone has to take time off these things so that you can find clarity and grow on your own. So even if you have a family, you can always cut out, like the outside people. Some people, when you wake up, they just want to talk to you nonstop. Like when you switch on your phone and someone is just like, this is happening, this, someone is just full of drama, and they bring the drama on your door, and they're forever asking you for favors, or they're forever asking you for advice, or this and that. It's like every day. So it ends up like in your face. It's like it ends up being your problem, even though it's someone else's problem, but it's because maybe they are like not dealing with their issues, so they constantly bring it on your doorstep. So in most cases, when you feel stuck, when you feel like you are in a rut, it's mostly because of even the people around you, the people you call family, the people you call friends. So most of the time when you feel you want to replace that loneliness, in quotes, we always have these bad habits that we replace the loneliness with. It can be gossip. It can be, you've seen some people that share memes in groups, like constant memes all the time. So for them, maybe they do that and people are laughing or people are commenting. It's like a void filler. And people are watching TV shows, and endless TV shows. There's reality shows, food, social media. So people are just using these things as void fillers. I've noticed that before, you would spend, I think you'd spend even a year without seeing someone or even talking to someone, because people did not have phones. People were living far away from each other, and the only mode of communication was writing letters. And you cannot put everything in a letter. It's impossible. So that also, it was like people were not in each other's faces all the time. And now everyone is like on your fingertips, like all the time. So this ability to connect with anyone anytime, it blocks you from having your space and clarity and freedom of your own thoughts, to process your own thoughts. It actually blocks that. So isolation may be key to cutting out the distractions. So by cutting out people or the distractions, I'm saying take time for yourself. When you start to do it, it feels weird. It was so hard for me. I struggle to get off that mode of TV shows, like TV shows there, and they've got catchy things and the drama never ends. So I struggled so much to stop watching TV shows. And I saw that when I started isolating myself from like talking to people all the time, calling people all the time, I started to notice that I had freedom to my own thoughts. I had freedom to do whatever I want to do. Creativity came naturally. I would be fasting, I would be praying. Obviously, the people around me in my family or my house, those ones are difficult to ignore, but still the people outside, if you have a family, you can always like limit the conversations, and you start to notice a lot of things when you do that. Some of them you can even communicate with them, like, look, I need to go into prayer and fasting, so you won't be able to, I will not be available to you maybe for the next 3 months or for the next 6 months. It depends with how far you are taking this. And you start to notice a lot of bad habits. Some of the people you call friends or family, some of them, they were just like constantly knocking on your door, asking for this, asking for that. You start to realize how people sometimes, because they are also using you as a void filler, so they are constantly asking you to do this, to do that. And people, I think we don't understand the value of time, all of us. Time is key. It's the currency that we have, because if you lose anything and you still have more time, you can still get it back, because time is the currency. The minute you are born or brought into this world, right, it just means your time is starting to tick-tock. It's like tick-tock, your time is moving, it's dwindling, it's diminishing, that time I set. So I'm just saying, like, let's say you had 100 years to live. The minute you show up, the timer starts to run, and your time is going. It's going, it's reducing. So it's important to be in isolation. Sometimes I saw that some people are always draining other people's energy, because they are forever in your face, texting you, calling you. It seems like love in some cases, but then when you really take a deep dive into it, you realize that this cannot be where someone wants to talk to me for the next hour on a phone call every day. Like, what time don't you have your own goals? What don't you have something that you want to do for yourself, and not just gossiping and So I feel like sometimes the enemy uses the people you like sometimes to delay or block you, and mostly to waste your time as well. And some of these people are very close to you. I was actually checking out TV shows. I was like a TV show lover. I probably watched all the TV shows that you've heard about. And then I just started to realize one day that, you know what? For example, one TV show has like 20 seasons, 22 episodes. One episode is like 45 minutes. Let me calculate this. So if one episode is 45 minutes and it has 22 episodes, multiply 22 by 45. That's like 99 minutes per season. Multiply by 20 if they have 20 seasons. That's like 19,800 minutes. And that's like, divide that by 60, that will be like 330 hours. And that's like what? 13.75 divided by 24, 13.75 days, almost 2 weeks of, if you had to watch like over and over and over, it's 2 weeks of you not sleeping. And just like, so imagine that time that we talked about, your time is already going, because you are busy with things that are not building nothing for you. It's not building your faith, it's building nothing. And because of that, we are people that are made by God to connect with him, using our hearts, prayer, worship. And when you start to get hooked to a TV show, it's very hard to get to worship or pray long prayers. You're probably in those 10-minute prayers and not even reading your Bible, because you're also tired. So it's like you go for work, you come back. When you come back, what do? You shower, you eat, you watch a TV show. Maybe spend time with your family, watch a TV show, you go to sleep, maybe 10 minutes prayer. You just don't realize that the whole day you didn't do anything for your faith, for your walk with God. And then Sunday you go to church, you feel like life is moving. But what about your own personal time with God, So isolation, I believe isolation is key. I do that more often. Let me give you some Bible verses. Psalms 90 verse 12 says, teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom, right? So time is the currency. Do not waste your time void filling, whether it's TV shows, social media, talking to people all the time. You get stuck in gossiping and it's non-stop, right? Then Proverbs 27 verse 1 says, do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Yeah, you see. So whatever this day, you are living it now and you've got it. So you can't be talking about tomorrow. So today, work on your things, the things that make you feel stuck or in a rut. And believe me, you may need isolation. This isolation is time for yourself. Time to sit down and not look at your phone all the time, chatting all the time. If you look at it, you'll be surprised. I think phones these days, they'll even tell you how many times you were on the screen. It'll even say like, oh, this week you were on your screen for 18 hours. And you're like, what? I was on my phone screen for 18 hours. How? So you see these things. So take time off, get into prayer and fasting, be in isolation. By isolation, I mean talking to God, you and God, and cutting out social media, cutting out TV, cutting out all these things. Start small. It's very hard, by the way, because I know it. I've done it before, starting small. Now I do it for longer periods and it's easier. It was so hard. I think at first I started with like one day where I'm like, okay, today I'm cutting off everybody. I just want to stay in prayer and fasting. I just want, and then after that you graduate to like 3 days, a week, a month. It becomes easier to do that. And now people around me, they know, like, if she's quiet, she's busy. Sometimes I don't even have to tell the people now, like, this is what I'm doing. They know. Yeah. So it's not lonely to be in isolation. It will actually give you clarity. It will give you clarity. You'll be surprised, and it gives you the freedom to make your own decisions, where you're not like going to people and getting them to make the decisions for you, or asking them to see what they think so that you can make a decision. It will get you closer to God because you have more time for God. You have to like make it, sit down and say, okay, this is the decision I'm making, and you'll be figuring out where God is taking you. It's actually peaceful. The only issue that you might actually figure out is that it's too peaceful, that you would want to do it more often and for longer periods, and not want to be in front of people and talking to people all the time. That's like the only like issue that you might actually have. But believe me, it's peaceful, and everyone needs to do this, and it gives you freedom to your own decisions. Most of the decisions that you make in life, most of the time, they are not your decisions. It's the decisions of your friends, your family, or because of how they see you. And sometimes it's not even where you want to be in life. So being alone in an isolation mode, it's not alone as in alone in quotes where you're feeling lonely, but this is like where you make it you decide to say, okay, I need to talk to God. It's a decision that you come into, so yeah, this is what I wanted to talk to you about. That if you feel stuck, if you feel in a rut, get to this isolation where you become, you make it a point to sit and look for God and commune with God, prayer, worship, fasting. Do it the way you want to do it, but stay with God. Anyways, God bless you guys. I hope it will work out for you when you decide to go into isolation. Thank you. Bye.